What's up, guys? jfreshbeats back with another video, and today we're going to talk about a question for Solitude Saturday. This question is, does learning the piano make you a better beat maker? This is a tough question. Let's go. Alright, welcome to another Solitude Saturday. This is where we have the solitude of what we need to regenerate ourselves and regenerate our life in production and beat making. So let's get started. We got that question, does learning the piano make you a better beat maker? I would say that would have to be a 50-50 thing. And the reason I say it has to be a 50-50 thing, that was something that was implemented on me and implemented on a lot of people that I hang around, that you have to learn the piano and learn it to the point to where you're fluent with it. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a keyboard player or a keyboard player at a church or at a gig. It just means that you're fluent, so you don't have to think about, oh, what scale am I using? What minor riff do I have to use? What major scale do I have to implement in this chord progression? Is it the 2-5-4? What key am I in? You don't have to think about that. So it does help to learn the piano and learn your scales. Now, there are some people who don't learn the piano, and they really do a wonderful job by basically implementing what they know as far as just doing with beat pads. There's a lot of people on the machine that just use the sampling and make beats. It depends on what kind of music you're trying to make. Now, if you're trying to make sampling, then you don't need to learn the piano unless you're trying to, I guess, find the key that the sample is in so you can add to it. But if it's literally just a sample and drums, you don't need it. This day and age, music is completely different than what it used to be. It used to be you had to know chords. You had to know how to go through different things in order to make that music. In order to make the music the way you wanted it to go. And right now, it's like all you need is a drum beat, one instrument, and your vocals with auto-tune, and you can make a wonderful hit. I'm not saying that it's going to be a hit that lasts every day. It's just one of those hits that is just like, okay, yeah, that's dope for this season. But my personal opinion, definitely learn the piano. Definitely learn what is needed in the piano. Definitely learn how the piano flows, what velocities you have to use and stuff like that. That's something that I really wanted to learn. My goal when I first started, it was about like 10, almost 11 years ago. I knew how to play drums, and I dabbled on the piano. I knew my scales because of band. I knew some chords, but I didn't know the chords that I use today. And my role model, who I have the fortunate, who I am fortunate enough to work with to this day, my role model knew the keys, played it so fluently, and he showed me a couple of lessons, and that inspired me to continue flowing, continue learning, continue to do what I need to do to make the music that I make today. Now, that doesn't mean I went and bought out a keyboard and just implemented it. No, the first keyboard I had was a MIDI controller, and it was 25 keys. It was an Axiom. I think it was the Oxygen. Sorry, it was the Oxygen 25. That was the first keyboard I had, and I would learn chords there. But then it got to the point to where I needed to learn chords with my right and left hand. And so I moved to the Axiom 49. And the Axiom 49 was a definite good starter piece for me to implement music into my beats. And as I got better, I started to move to different keyboards. The keyboard that I used every Sunday was an old school Clavinova, but it had a MIDI input and a MIDI output, so I could plug it into the computer and use my own sounds. So I didn't have to use that sound. But the first song that I learned was on I think it was like a Casio keyboard, and the song was Indescribable. And I learned that song. You can go on my Instagram page, and it literally, and I'll probably put the video right here. It's literally a implementation of me learning the keys. I wasn't as fluent as I am now, but I was learning it because my goal was to be able to play at a church just like my role model, and be able to make music the same way. Now, I'm not saying that I'm great at it right now. I'm not saying that I'm the best right now. But I am saying that there was a huge improvement in my music as far as beat making when I did that versus when I first started. When I first started, I was with FL Studio, and with FL Studio, it was just clicking, using the mouse and clicking. I knew my scale, so I knew exactly where I wanted it to go, but I didn't know any complex chord. I didn't know any complex things, so I had to find MIDI packs in order to drag the complex chord that I wanted in there, or try to guess what kind of complex chord I wanted. But it's completely different and a lot easier, in my opinion, when you learn the keys. Now, I will say that has become a handicap. Not a bad handicap, but a good handicap for me, because now when I go back to what I used to do, and I just have a drum pad in front of me or a beat machine in front of me and no keyboard, it's harder for me to implement what I hear in my head to what I hear, to what I need to play out, because the chords are different. The chords are programmed. They're not chords that I can create on the spot, or the chords that I usually use. Now, there is a chord trigger that's on Logic that you can literally do a user patch and find, for each note that you press, the chords that you want to put down. But that's not the same as just playing it. the velocity strokes, the implementation that you use. So yeah, I would say it's a 50-50, but in my opinion, definitely learn the keyboard. In my opinion, I know some beat makers right now that didn't know the keyboard, and they're beasting right now. And now that they're learning the keyboard, it's like the sky's the limit for them. Like, it's amazing. And it's really, really dope. Like, shout out to Pretty Girl Beats. Her beats were dope, even with sampling and on FL Studio and stuff like that. And now she's learning the keyboard, and they're better than what they were. And I thought they were dope when we were in college. So it's definitely dope. Well, that's all the time that I have for today. Please leave a like. Also subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this discussion for Solitude Saturday. It's a really important discussion. A lot of people tell me about it and tell me that, hey, I think I need to learn the keys. And sometimes you don't even need to. So remember, life without music is a mistake, and he who controls you controls your music. All right. Peace.